So is it just me, or did that last little ditty on my music service sound like a Christmas song? I just, maybe it's just me. I don't know. It's a little early for that shit though. I'm just saying, it's not even Halloween yet. So I hope that wasn't on. I don't know how that happened. I didn't really choose the song. They play in an order and it happens what happens. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Usually FTG Thursday, but I got other shit. I mean, there's FTGs in my list, but they're not necessarily, I didn't pick them because of it. I just, So anyway, there's just a couple things yesterday that were significant to me. And so that's what we're going to focus on today. The things that happened. One was Joe Biden made another address yesterday, and it was someone who works in a company that specializes in logistics and supply chains, for example. I found it mildly humorous, and some people just ate it up, and it just got me to notice how there are people who just hear something, and if it's by the right person, and that's not just on the opposite political end of the spectrum for me, but mine too. They'll hear something and they'll just repeat it as though it were gospel. And so we'll get into that, plus more stupid 19 news. I got into some arguments, and I was talking about, if you didn't see Joe Rogan smack down Sanjay Gupta, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who I don't think's ever been challenged on any of his views about the stupid 19. And so we'll kind of get a glimpse of that, but there's always more stupid 19 news. So we'll get to that. And then a couple other odds and ends, and then we'll get out of here. So anyway, we'll do that all after we play the intro. Somebody play the intro. Yeah, you. Who else would I be talking to? Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is Thursday, the 14th of October, 2021, and I'm glad you're here, because I'm always glad you're here. Thanks for showing up and being the part of the crew, part of the gang, part of the dog pound. I'm happy you're here, and I hope you're having a wonderful morning. So, first, let me just say this, okay? GunFox61, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you for sponsoring the show, GunFox, who didn't think he was going to be here because he has shit to do and he should probably be getting some sleep because he's got a 12-hour shift coming up. But anyway, GunFox with the first donation of the day. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Says, have a good show. I got work. See you all Monday. Lots of spicy ranting news in Discord. Here is just a small taste. Man using a king cobra to kill wife. School board covers up for trans rapist. Father of girl arrested after confronting board, and more. Yes, I have that story. The second one, not the king cobra to kill his wife, but this father at London County, what is it called? London County, Virginia. This story kind of pisses me off. Other than, believe all women, but apparently not in the case of a girl who had unwanted, what they say? What's the words they say? Non-consensual sex. And she's not the only one either. There's more than one. So the story is getting really bad, and I don't like it. Oh, and again, thank you, GunFox61. I appreciate you very much for sponsoring the show again with another. Oh, what happened here? Oh, your first one didn't show up. It was an hour ago, and that was it's because it only shows up what happens during the show as far as the cumulative. That's okay. Anyway, thank you, Gunfox61, again for sponsoring the show again and saying William Shatner plus 3 others rode Bezos' space stick to a height of 351,551 feet yesterday from West Texas. Yes, we watched that on the show yesterday. We missed yesterday, but we watched the launch and the entire trip into space, the final frontier, and the return home, which it's always nerve-wracking. You know what I mean? Really, really nerve-wracking because I would have hated for William Shatner to go up in a Columbia-like incident. That would have sucked. But they made it safely at home. And I think I bookmarked his remarks from when they got back. Because when we watched it yesterday, we just watched to the time they landed and didn't get to really see the remarks because I wanted to finish the show. So I wasn't going to do it, but I did bookmark it. So maybe we'll watch just his remarks. It's a short clip. And we'll do that sometime later in the show. Again, thank you, Gunfox61. I appreciate your continued support. It really means the world to me, and I really do. And also, people, during the show, you'll see a thing from the Streamlabs bot there that will tell you how to get to the Discord server if you're not already on the Discord server. That's another great source of news. Gunfox in particular puts a lot of great stuff on there, and so we'll just. You got to check it out. Join our Discord server if you do that kind of stuff. All right. London County School Board should be in jail. Tranny forced fellatio and he sodomized a 14-year-old girl at the school. The superintendent didn't want to call the police. Yeah, it's that story is awful, and I will get to that. I promise. Well, I should never promise anything because there's a whole lot of ranting that could be happening today. But anyway, I remember a teacher of mine showed us a film of all these rockets blowing up. Yeah, very sober. Yeah, there have been lots of accidents in space, and so you just anytime one of those go, you have to hope that you're not going to see a piece of history that is not good. Okay, but that thing yesterday with oh, good night, Gunfox. Appreciate you. That thing yesterday was cool. It was just cool having this iconic star of a show about space travel get to go into space, and he was so humbled by the event. So again, we'll watch that. But let's get into this show today. But first, let's say good morning to everyone who's here now, because that's what I do on the show. So first in the chat today is Somnambule Nation. Thank you very much for being here. Whoa, I did that Chinese accent. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being Johnny on the spot. And also thank you for tweeting out the show. By the way, you are the sponsors of the Morning Night Live. All of you people that you see me right here, you're the sponsors of the show. And ways you can sponsor the show are hit the like button. That's a big one. If you like what we do, hit the like button. It seems like a tiny thing, but it actually can do wonders in the world. Also, share the stream like Somnambule Nation did and Keeverdam already did, tweeted out the show on their own, or you can follow me on multiple social media at Dawg Knight on Twitter, Minds, Gab, CloudHub, Parler, Getter, and others. Just tweet out the show, or you can retweet or repost what I did by clicking that little circular button thing they always give you to repost stuff. That helps. And then if you want to do it in a more substantial way to sponsor the show, you can always do it. Not only sponsor the show, but also have your voice heard for sure, because I will read your super chats and or Streamlabs donations. You can watch the show on pdognight.live. The show runs, the chat's on the right hand side, and the donation box is up in the upper hand corner. Or you can just click the super chat thing from YouTube, and if you want to, if you don't mind giving Susan 30%, hey, I'll take the other 70 and figure out what to do with it. So appreciate all of you for your constant support, and it's again, great. You are greatly appreciated. Also, okay, let's say good now that I did all that, let's say goodbye to everybody else. Good morning, Gunfox61, or I should say good night, Gunfox61. Get some sleep since you have that long shift coming up. Also, good morning, Jonathan Peterson. Good morning, Select Boy. Yeah, boy. Also, good morning to Aaron Meredith. Oh, scoot down. Kiever Nam, nice to see you again. Thank you for sharing on Twitter again. Good morning, Attack Alpaca. Good morning, James Colley's in the house. Good morning, Mike Savage. Blarg. Also, good morning, Fox P2. Why the F was Crowder suspended now? He got a hard strike for hate speech. Apparently he made some jokes that they didn't like, and they considered it hate speech, and so they gave him a hard strike. They sent his what's the guy, the lawyer, Bill the lawyer, Asian lawyer, whatever he calls him. Anyway, they sent him a letter saying that he got a strike for hate speech, and so we'll see where that goes. Apparently he can't upload for a week. Now I'm curious though. What I didn't check to see is can he live stream though? Because he can't upload. Let's see if he's streaming this morning. I don't think he is, because I don't think he can. Let's see. Russ Johns is streaming this morning. Who else is streaming? Let's see. Let's check my subscriptions here. And no Louder with Crowder. I think he's suspended. Oh, wait a minute. Now he's suspended from YouTube. Okay, well, I should call on all Crowder fans. Calling all Crowder fans, you should come watch my show now. I mean, I'm at the same time. You know what? If you don't know anyone who watches Crowdy, tell them since Crowder's off the air, come see me. That'd be fine. I would be fine with that. Anyway, yeah, he's not on the air this morning, so that kind of sucks. I hate that shit, man. I got to tell you. Hate speech is an oxymoron as far as I'm concerned. Hate speech is the speech that you hate. Anyway, let me finish up here and say good morning to everybody, because I'm kind of getting off track. I said Aaron Meredith. Good morning, Asian Research Directorate. Good morning, Kessler. Good morning, Jim Beam. Nice to see you back. Wikipedia snippets in the house. DI Freighter Watcher. Nobody Not Me's here. Good morning. Also, I'm getting there. Oh, that must have got everybody. And TC's in the house. Also, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Uncle Bad Touch is in the house.
Come on, man.
We know who you are, Uncle Bad Touch. I'm just saying. Also, good morning to. That's everyone on the list so far. Okay, I scrolled all the way down, and that's everybody. 19 people in the room, 12 likes. Hit the like button, and let's get it on. Okay, so yesterday, this is kind of funny, because I'm driving around, and for whatever reason, my text messages are just going crazy, right? And I was like, okay, what's going on? Because usually a lot of times when my text messages are going crazy, I have a thread of me and a bunch of college friends. There's about 12 of us on one text thread. It's been going for 6 years, same text thread for 6 years now, that we just shoot the shit on this text thread and mostly bitch about politics, and we all similarly like-minded, but not 100%. The text messages were going crazy, and it was three of the guys, and they all happened to be watching Joe Biden give an address to the press about supply chains, about what the Biden administration is doing about the supply chain, because there's this big, if you didn't know what's going on particularly in California, where they're having a hard time getting ships unloaded. There's ships just waiting out in the ocean, anchored off the coast of California, and because the California coast, the Long Beach and Los Angeles ports are two of the busiest ports in the United States. About 40% of American goods come through those two ports, and then there's ports in along the East Coast too, Florida and a couple other places too. But those two ports in Long Beach and Los Angeles are very important, and they're having a really hard time managing getting those ships unloaded, because, well, one, there's a labor issue. They don't have enough people. Good morning, Avocats Diablo, by the way. There's not enough. So there's a labor shortage, and there's some new rules in California that are causing some issues. Okay, so Joe Biden decides he's going to come out and make an address. He's going to talk about how the Biden administration, and by the way, the Biden administration has some fault with our supply chain issue too. But we'll get to that in a sec, because I have a few articles about it too. But So Joe Biden comes out and does one of his little things where he comes out and makes a speech to the press that are there gathered to make an address to the, apparently to the nation from the White House, but he's to the press, and he says a whole lot of stupid shit. And I'm loath to sit here and watch an entire press conference by Joe Biden, but we're gonna watch parts of it. Okay, so oh, did anyone see the Halloween decorations with the COVID clinic? I did not see that. I did not. Good morning, Richo, by the way. So anyway, we're gonna watch some of this address by Joe Biden in the first half of the show, and then we're gonna get into the articles, and we'll move on from there. Or the White House set. Well, I don't know. You know, this, whatever this room is in the White House they use for this shit. I don't know. But anyway, so here's President Joe Biden, and I'm just gonna make a few comments. I don't know if I'm gonna get to the whole thing because I wish I would have bookmarked key parts, but I didn't. I'm just gonna go ahead. We're gonna listen to the president here regarding the supply chain issues. Now this sounds, I know it sounds boring, but please bear with me because I have some thoughts and we're gonna talk about them. And here we go. And also, you know what's funny about this? I always love how he makes a show of wearing a mask and then taking it off as he walks into the room. First of all, I'm curious as to why the fuck is he wearing a mask right now? Oh, fully vaccinated, fully double vaxxed, he has a booster even. And he's wearing a mask to walk from that door to the podium. Why wouldn't you just walk out without the mask? If who's standing near him that could possibly have COVID in the White House? Didn't they require everyone to have their double booster, super duper double triple boost in the White House? I'm just serious. Anyway, here we go. Big show. Let's take off the mask on our way to the podium.
Thank you.
Please sit down. Yes.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I know you're hearing a lot about something called supply chains.
Now, it's interesting. Here, if you're in the chat and you've been hearing a lot about things called supply chains, well, here, let's do a poll. Have you been hearing a lot about things called supply chains? Yes or no? There's our question right now. You can answer that in the chat. Because some of you may have, and some of you have been like, yeah, not really, but you might have heard you say something about it yesterday because, anyway. All right, let's go.
And how hard it is to get a range of things from a toaster to sneakers to bicycles to bedroom furniture.
Now. So when you hear that we're having a trouble with supply chains, and he mentioned bicycle to a toaster to what? What were the 5 things he said?
A toaster to sneakers to bicycles.
Toaster, sneakers, to bicycles, bedroom furniture.
And
really, when I think supply chain, I think of things that manufacturers need. The things that, yes, there are some things you need that are personal items, but that's not what I think of supply chain. I think about food. I think about petroleum. I think about really necessary things. I think about electricity too, but that's a whole nother one. That's kind of worrisome in California. Good morning, Jen. How you doing? Anyway, like food prices kind of skyrocketed for you folks down in America land because they really bounce up for us. Yes, food prices are really up high, especially beef. Holy smokes, steaks are expensive right now. Anyway.
And that's why back in February, I signed a piece of legislation on supply chain, an executive order on supply chains
Back in
and
February.
what we had to move on it. And with
Did
the
he now?
holidays coming up, you might be wondering if the gifts you plan to buy will arrive on time. Well, let me explain.
Now, so when I think of supply chains, I don't think about the gifts that I'm going to be sending at Christmas, whether they're going to arrive on time. It's not a big. Of course, I work for one of the largest shipping companies in the world, but that that deliver packages that people send to and from each other, so I know how it works, and so this speech makes me laugh sometimes.
Supply chains essentially mean how we make things
No.
and how the material and parts get delivered to a factory,
Yes.
so we can manufacture things,
Yes.
manufacture them here.
Yes.
How we move.
Manufacture them here. Haven't we made it harder for people to manufacture things here? Is that why the ships may be filling up and be waiting in the ocean to be emptied into the harbors, because we're getting things from other places that people don't want to make here anymore because it costs too much?
Move things. How a
How we
finished
move
product
things.
moves from a factory to a store to your home.
Yes. Okay.
And today we have an important announcement
Oh, an
that
important
will
announcement.
get things you buy to the shelves faster.
Really?
I'm joined by the executive director of the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach,
Okay.
Gene Soroka.
These are the two
and,
ports we're talking
and
about.
Mario Cordono. I apologize, Mario. And the president of the International Longshoremen's Union, Willie Adams.
Oh, Union president.
Los Angeles
Cool.
and Long Beach are home to two of the largest ports in America. And together, these ports are among the largest in the world.
Yes.
The best way to make that point is that 40% of shipping containers that we import into this country come through these two ports. And today we have some good news. We're going to help speed up the delivery of goods all across America.
Hang on a second. Now, what ports do the other 60% come from? And why aren't the people who are ahead of those ports there? Just curious.
After weeks of negotiation and working with my team and with the major union retailers and freight movers, the Port of Los Angeles announced today that it's going to begin operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay. Fascinating. Well, listen to him. Listen a little longer, and then I'll come back and make this point. But just remember, he just said that the ports of Los Angeles and the ports of Long Beach are now going to be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Remember that statement.
This follows the Port of Long Beach's commitment to 24/7 that it announced just weeks ago.
Okay.
24/7 system, what most of the leading countries in the world already operate on now, except us, until now.
Really? None of us do that now. Oh, or is he just talking about the ports? Do you think so? The ports. When do the ports run, Joe? What's going to change here? I'm just curious.
This is the first key step toward moving our entire freight, transportation, and logistical supply chain nationwide to a 24/7 system. Here's why it matters. Traditionally, our ports have only been open during the week, Monday through Friday, and they're generally closed down at nights and on weekends.
Okay, so what does that mean, Joe? I mean, is it just me? Or 2 years ago, were we having problems with our supply chain? 2 years ago, when the economy was way more robust than it is now, prior to COVID, when we were having one of the most, hot, beautiful economies ever in the United States of America. Were we having a problem with our supply chain 2 years ago? What does this do? What's the difference here? What are you talking about?
By staying open 7 days a week through the night and on the weekends, the Port of Los Angeles will open over 60 extra hours a week. Will be open.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He just said that by being open 24/7, they will now be open an extra 60 hours a week. Hang on a second. By the way, thank you, BBC Rental. BBC Rental, the longtime sponsor of the of the Morning Night Live. And here's their ad. Should I put some like sexy music on for this? Hang on a second, because this is BBC Rentals kind of needs some theme music. Oh, did I close that? Shoot, hang on a second. I need some sexy music for BBC Rentals. Give me a second here. Let's see. We'll go. Let's go R&B, because R&B is usually sexy music, right? Or at least tends to be. Now let's find something romantic and sexy. Hopeful, restless, sentimental. Well, here I got an idea. Sexy, is sexy a choice? Yes, it is. Let's go sexy. Romantic and sexy. Let's go with this. Ladies, if you want to take an enjoyable ride to the great beyond. Oh, wait, I don't want, oh, no, stop. Wait a minute, hold up. I want the instrumental version. Let me start over. Ladies, if you want to take the enjoyable ride to the great beyond, try BBC Rentals. Unlike Jeff's dickhead-shaped rocket, our members will satisfy you, then get you off in a timely manner. Just ask George Takai. BBC Rentals. Unless you're racist.
That's racist!
Thank you, BBC Rentals, who strangely writes very similarly to Gunfox61. Okay, let's get back into Joe's. That sentence should have never been said after that ad. Let's go back to Joe's speech. We're not getting back into Joe's anything. All right, here we go.
In total, that will almost double the number.
By the way, wait. I got a point to make, though. So he said now they're going to run 24/7. And so that means they're going to be running 60 more hours a week. Okay, let me clear out my calculator here. 24 times 7 equals 168 hours minus 60. So they were already running 108 hours a week. Now he said they were only running Monday through Friday. So divide that by 5. So they were running 21 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and now he thinks adding just the weekends is going to make a big difference. Funny, we didn't have a supply train. Did we have a supply? Holy shit. Supply and demand. Supply chain. My brain stopped. Were we having a supply chain problem 2 years ago when the economy was busier than ever? That's so weird. And, well, here, let's get into some other stupid shit he says here.
Hours that the port is open for business from
an
earlier
extra
this
60
year.
hours.
That means an increase in the hours for workers to be moving cargo off ships onto trucks and rail cars to get to their destination.
So all those workers are going to be working overtime now? More overtime? Because right now they can't get enough workers. That's just stupid. I don't know where these workers are going to come from because they can't get people to work. That's the problem. That is part of the problem right now with those ports in California and Long Beach and Los Angeles. They don't have enough people to work right now. How are they going to go add another 60 hours of work for those workers? Are they just going to work them to the bone now?
And more than that, the night hours are critical for increasing the movement of goods because highways are less crowded at night.
Wait a minute, listen, you got to hear this again.
Of goods because highways are less crowded in the evening.
So it's almost as though Joe doesn't realize that most of these companies that ship things, look, have you ever driven at night? If y'all ever driven at night, have you ever driven at night on the highways in the United States of America? When I drive at night, I see truckers all the time running around, driving all around in America. Also, what else moves at night? Trains, airplanes, boats. But he seems to think that, oh, wow, this is going to help because, hey, there's not as much traffic at night. They can move a lot more. When do you think a lot of these trucks move? Right now, Joe? God, you dolt. Good morning, Sean King. Let's see. So, yes, many of you have heard about the supply chain thing. Good. Well, I'm glad you're paying attention because it's probably a good idea to get stocked up on some dry goods just for extra stuff in your basement anyway.
In fact, during off-peak hours in Los Angeles, cargo leaves the port at a 25% faster pace than during the day shift.
Well, how would he know that? How would he know that unless they're already running late into the day? Oh, you got the vid. Oh, man. Well, Sean, take care of yourself and please remain part of the 99.992%. I hope you recover quickly and have get your taste and sense and smell back, which I still haven't gotten that back completely. I've gotten some of it. Anyway, yeah, and it doesn't mean it ends up leaving a truck at night. That's true too. It's this crazy. Oh my gosh, welcome to Let's Go Brandon. I don't know who that is, but someone I already gave a wrench to. And welcome to the show. Nice to see you.
So by increasing the number of late night hours of operation and opening up for less crowded hours when the goods can move faster, today's announcement has the potential to be a game changer.
No, it doesn't, Joe.
I say potential.
Oh my God.
Because all of these goods won't move by themselves.
Now listen to this.
For the positive impact
listen to this.
To be felt all across the country and by all of you at home.
We need
major retailers who ordered the goods and the freight movers who take the goods from the ships to factories and to stores to step up as well.
Hi, Renee.
These private sector companies are the ones that hire the trucks and rail cars and move the goods.
Hang on. Let's go back.
Who ordered the goods and the freight movers who take the goods from the ships to factories and to stores to step up as well. These private sector companies are the ones that hire the trucks and rail cars and move the goods.
Now,
on this score, we have some good news to report as well.
What's this, Joe?
Today, Walmart, our nation's largest retailer, is committing to go all in on moving its products 24/7 from the ports to their stores nationwide.
Now, this is freaking hilarious. He mentions Walmart. Walmart's gonna move their stuff 24/7. Have you ever been to a Walmart warehouse, Joe? Did you know that Walmart warehouses have 3 shifts? What do you think they do on those 3 shifts in the Walmart warehouses? They move goods 24 hours a day. This is not new, Joe. But he says more. Specifically,
Walmart is committing as much as a 50% increase in the use of off-peak hours over the next several weeks.
Really? Are they?
Additionally, FedEx and UPS, 2 of our nation's biggest freight movers, are committing today to significantly increase the amount of goods they're moving at night.
Okay, this is crazy. I've been with UPS for 17 years. We already move packages at night. That's when the airplanes fly. That's when the over-the-road truckers go. The over-the-road truckers go day and night. Our hubs run 3 shifts at night. moving the packages. The reason you can get a package from Miami, Florida to Los Angeles, California on a next day air package is because we fly them overnight. Federal Express built their entire business model on moving your package overnight. What is this moron talking about? It's funny. I went into UPS this morning, the day after he makes this speech, and I really didn't hear anything about, oh, we're going to be changing a whole lot of shit because now we're going to commit to moving packages at night, because we already move packages at night. We deliver them during the day when businesses are open. And guess what? Come the week of probably around Thanksgiving time, a lot of us at UPS work a lot of extra hours to make sure that people get their packages that are shipped mostly at night. Our trains, we have train cars, we got airplanes, we've got semi-tractor trailers that move from city to city, and they pretty much all run at night. And the hubs move all your packages and sort them all at night, so that when the package cars leave the hubs, they bring your packages when you're awake and the doors are open. Holy shitballs. I can't believe it. Good morning, pissed off Shih Tzu, by the way. It's unbelievable. It just cracks me up. This guy. Anyway, listen to this. And he makes it sound like this is just such a revelation that somebody might move packages at night. Look, I drive a lot. Like when I travel, I love to travel by car. And a lot of times I've been known to travel at night. In fact, my wife and I, when my son's college basketball team made it to the Division III National Championship somewhere in Virginia, I can't even remember the town now, we drove 19 hours straight from Minneapolis to Virginia overnight. And there was a lot of trucks on the road driving. I mean, even at 3 a.m, there were trucks moving at night. I couldn't believe how many people drive at night. Oh my gosh.
FedEx and UPS are the shippers for some of our nation's largest stores.
Are they
They
now?
also ship
Are
for
we?
tens of thousands.
Yes, we do. We do supply a lot of stuff. Like we have a whole, being in the club I'm in, we have a whole bunch of stores that ship like to the Mall of America. We have two whole bays dedicated just to the Mall of America, where we send products over there. Yes, we do. And a lot of other stores. And there's outlet malls and stuff and residential. We do a ton of stuff. And man, we've been doing this for years, overnight. My God, 24/7. Our operations run 24/7. Unbelievable.
Small businesses all across America.
Oh,
Their commitment
really?
to go all in on 24/7 operations means that businesses of all sizes will get their goods
What
on
do you
shelves.
mean go all in on 24/7 operation? We already do. And I guarantee you that UPS is not going to start having drivers deliver packages to businesses at night. Do you know why? Because most businesses aren't open at night. That's why we deliver packages during the day, business hours. Now, we do a lot of our residential. We sometimes, our drivers are out till 7, 8 o'clock. And during the Christmas season, they might be out till 10 o'clock at night. But this makes no sense.
Faster and more reliably.
Is it
Accordingly,
now?
according to one estimate, together,
One estimate.
FedEx and UPS alone move up to 40% of packages in America, up to 40%.
According to one estimate? Whose
And other
estimate is
companies are
that?
stepping up as well. They include Target, Home Depot, and Samsung. that have all committed to ramp up their activities to utilize off-peak
Why?
hours at the ports.
Why? At the ports? At the ports? What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
So, the commitments being made today are a sign of major progress in moving goods from manufacturers to a store or to your front door.
Yeah.
I want to thank my supply.
Okay. So you want the UPS guy driving up to your door in that, the loud package car at 3 a.m. and you hear him go down, then you hear a thump on your front door because on your front doorstep. Is that, you want to hear that in the middle of the night? I don't think so. Holy shit.
Chain Disruption Task Force, which we set up in June, led by Secretaries Buttigieg, Raimondo, and Vilsack.
Yes.
And
we haven't heard much from Pete Buttigieg lately, have we? You think we're having a supply chain crisis. You think that Pete Buttigieg would be all over the news, they'd be on the talk shows. He'd be doing the CNN State of the Union show, and he'd be on Face the Nation, and they'd be asking him questions about what's going on with the supply chain, because I hear we're going to be in a lot of trouble. And has anyone seen Pete Buttigieg's face anywhere? Did I say Pete Buttigieg? That was a Freudian slip. Anyway, has anyone seen his face lately? I don't. I haven't.
my director of National Economic Council, Ryan Deese. I want to thank them for their leadership.
Oh, there's another thing he does in this speech that's it's so weirdly transparent that a Democrat would do this in a speech. We'll get to it.
And I especially want to thank Joe Porcari. I think Joe's done one heck of a job, my special envoy specifically on ports, who's been working this issue with all the stakeholders for the past several weeks.
Great.
I also want to thank the port directors. I want to thank Gene and Mario again, and the mayors of
Renee, I'm so glad I didn't have coffee in my mouth when I read that. Holy shit. Pete's busy recovering from having a baby. By the way, I do have my cup of reparations in the Shell's Brewery cup. Shell's Brewery, home of the largest Oktoberfest in the state of Minnesota.
Los Angeles and Long Beach, Mayor Garcetti and Mayor Garcia, for their leadership. And I think the private companies that are stepping up, I want to thank them. But I particularly want to thank labor. Willie Adams.
Here it is. Here's what he really wanted to say today. He wanted to telegraph something about labor.
Of the Longshoremen and Warehouses Union, who is here today, the Teamsters, the rail unions from the Brotherhood of Railroad Signalmen.
Yeah, he wanted to talk
and the International Association of Machinists, to the American Train Dispatchers Association, to sheet metal.
He wanted to give a shout out.
Rail and Transportation Workers Union, known as SMART.
He wanted to
give a
shout out to unions.
This is across the board commitment to going to 24/7. This is a big first step in speeding up the movement of materials and goods through our supply chain. But now we need the rest of the private sector chain to step up as well.
Why?
This is not called a supply chain for nothing. This means the terminal
really?
operators.
What is This is not called a supply chain for nothing. What does that mean, Joe? What does that mean?
Railways, trucking companies, shippers, and other retailers as well. Strengthening our supply chain will continue to
what? Wait, does anyone know what that word is that he just said?
And other retailers as well. Strengthening our supply chain.
Strengthening? What the fuck is strengthening? Strengthening? Oh, I bet he meant strengthening. Listen to this.
Shippers and other retailers as well. Strengthening our supply chain will continue to be my team's focus. If federal support is needed,
your team's focus.
I'll direct all.
What federal support can you give, Joe? That's the other thing. What? Oh, so Joe's going to throw some money at it. Joe wants to throw some money at this plan. Here's the other thing. He also wants this to sound like it's about his Build Back Better plan, the $3.5 trillion debacle that he's trying to push through. He'll get to it.
Appropriate action. And if the private sector doesn't step
Wait,
up,
what's it saying?
I will direct all appropriate action.
Oh, okay.
And if the private sector doesn't step up, we're going to call them out and ask them to act.
If the private sector doesn't step up, well, first of all, Joe, the private sector wants to make money. So we've already the private sector already steps up because the private sector also wants the goods and shit that they need to make their stuff and sell it, right? So it's not like this private sector is just sitting back going, we don't feel like doing this today. You fucked up the ports. It's not a problem with what's happening within the country. We are doing our damnedest. It's funny, where I work at my little hub of UPS that I work part-time at, we are loaded for bear, man. We've been hiring people, and surprisingly, we've been able to hire a lot of people. We got tons of new people there. We're ready for Christmas. We're ready for the peak season, just like we are every year. And there's no problem with our supply chain. Okay, we deliver packages to people who order them and want them, and we've been doing it forever, and we don't have a problem. Okay. We're there if people want to send shit. If people want to send more shit, we've got people to do it. The problem is the people aren't getting the shit they want to send because there's problems at the ports. We can move as much shit, I mean, I'm using this colloquially, obviously, as you want to send. So bring it on, bitch. It's not the problem at the people in the country. It's the people getting it. It's the people on the ports who can't get it off the ships fast enough. And that's because they don't have enough workers and because there's some restrictions that you've been putting on them. But he says something else stupid here that just wait, there's plenty of stupid in this speech.
Because our goal is not only to get through this immediate bottleneck, but to address the long-standing...
Wait a minute, this immediate bottleneck, yeah. Because guess what? There was no bottleneck 2 years ago when the country was humming along just fine. We had an economy that was just booming and we had no problem with the supply chain. I wonder what's changed. Obviously, we've had this pandemic and we've had some incentive for people not to work that they're just finally kind of deciding, no, I don't. Well, I've had a taste of not having to work and having money. Boy, I'd love to keep doing that. Well, there's plenty of jobs out there. I bet those ports are hiring like crazy if they can find qualified workers, even unqualified. Right now, they'll hire just about anybody. But there's a problem. People got a taste of not having to work. And so some aren't going back to it.
Weaknesses in our transportation.
But the idea that he would blame it on the private sector, though, that's the other part too. No, there's some public policy things that you've done that have screwed this up.
Supply chain that this pandemic has exposed. I might add...
The problems to the supply chain that the pandemic's exposed. I wonder if that would be shutting a lot of things down. Now, what's fascinating, throughout this entire pandemic, the giant shipping company that I work for, we never stopped working. Remember, we were the heroes, Joe. We were the heroes that kept the world moving. The reason that people were getting their Amazon packages and their eBay packages and their, food fresh pre-packaged meals that they could cook at home and everything, all the other shit that people buy, is because us heroes kept the packages moving. That was the one business that you said, well, we're going to make everyone stay home unless you're an essential worker. Well, guess what? All of us people who move packages for a living and move supply for a living, we were essential workers and we continue to work. But now all of a sudden, you want to tell people who work for countries that have 100 employees or more that if they don't get some Fauci juice, they might not be able to work. Imagine what that's going to do to your supply chain, Joe. Moron. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Who says want to remove all these burdensome regulations on CDL that reduce their earnings.
That's right.
Just get government out of the way.
That's right.
Let's go, Brandon.
That's right.
Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, so fuckface, Joe. We're there. We're there, man. And guess what? As one of the 45 million who has survived the stupid 19 while I was an essential worker and a hero, I will reiterate what Black Hebrew Israelite said. Let's go, Brandon. All right. I'm sorry. Let me put Joe back on the screen here because I've been doing this without him on there. Hang on. Here we go.
Parenthetically, one of the reasons why I think it's very important that we get the infrastructure plan passed.
What infrastructure plan? Guess what, Joe? Even with all the crumbling roads and bridges that you talk about and the infrastructure plan that has a lot of shit that has nothing to do with infrastructure, guess what? Over the last 5-10 years, we've had no supply chain problem. The supply chain problem did not exist 2 years ago when we had the booming economy and forever. But now suddenly we have a supply chain problem. Oh, I wonder too if the prices of fuel are causing any problems with the supply chain because we don't produce as much of our own fuel anymore, and I'm sure that hurts people. But I digress. Let's finish up with Joe here because he says some other stupid shit.
And that supply chain system is almost entirely in the hands of private business. The world has.
So see he did there subtly. Very subtle. He's blaming the supply chain problem on private business. I wonder if a union strikes, somewhere and slows down the supply chain, or let's say some pilots, for example, decide that they're not going to fly. All the pilots get sick at the same time. I wonder if that would cause a supply chain problem. That would be the unions that would cause it, right? Would that be the private business or the union that caused the problem? Now, in this case, the unions and the private businesses cooperate and work together to make the supply chain work, and it's been going great up until now. Now, what has changed? I'm curious. But he's trying to blame it on the private industry, right?
Prior to the crisis, we cheered, the focus on lean, efficient supply chains, leaving no buffer or margin for error when it comes to certain parts arriving just in time.
Lean, efficient supply chains are better because they lower the cost of goods for the people. Okay, if you have a bloated supply chain that just has a lot of waste and whatnot, that costs money. And guess where those costs are made up? In the price of goods. There's a reason you want an efficient supply chain that works well. That's what UPS and FedEx and the Postal Service overnight service is all about, right? If you want to get something, you can get something to someone overnight because we run 24/7.
Is needed to make a final product. And our administration, Barack and ours, that's where it was just in time was the focus. We didn't have a pandemic.
Really? You had a focus on the supply chain during the what did he say? The Obama-Biden administration? Oh, I never heard you talk about supply chains during the Obama-Biden administration. Maybe I just missed it. I should probably look that up.
And other things at the time. We need to take a longer view, though, that invest in building greater resilience to withstand the kinds of shocks we've seen over and over.
Over and over?
And year out.
Over and over, year in, year out. What year? Just give me a example, Joe, where this has been a huge problem in prior years. This hasn't come up in the last 10, 15, 20 years. This is new. That has to do something with the year administration and new shit that's happening.
Whether it's the pandemic, extreme weather.
Climate change. How the hell did he just wedge in climate change? Hang on, listen to this though.
Cyber attacks or other disruptions.
Cyber attacks, yeah.
In fact, research tells us that a company can expect to lose over 40% of 1 year's earnings every 10 years due to supply chain disruptions.
Wait a minute. So, wait a minute. Okay, so they can lose 40% of 1 year's production every 10 years due to supply chain issues. I'm going to run that back.
Of 1 year's earnings every 10 years, tax or other disruptions. In fact, research tells us that a company can expect to lose over 40% of 1 year's earnings every 10 years due to supply chain disruptions.
So every 10 years, they have 96% of earnings, then 40% was lost. Every 10 years of 1 year's earnings, not of 10 years earnings. So wouldn't even be, let's say, I don't know. Someone do the math on that. That doesn't make sense.
So a longer-term view means we invest in systems that have more time built in and our ability to produce, innovate, and partner with our allies.
We who? Who's we, Joe? What are you talking about? That's what companies do. Companies learn they can expect to lose 40% of 1 year's earnings every year due to taxes, Joe. That is true. That is true, Joe. Or Advocatus Diabli.
It also means companies throughout the supply chain, like maritime, air freight, and trucking companies, reduce their carbon emissions and help to meet our climate change goals.
Okay, now, let's listen. You got. I'm okay. I'm gonna play that again because that's important. This is an important part of the speech that when I heard this, I'm like, what the actual fuck are you talking about? Listen to this.
Companies throughout the supply chain, like maritime, air freight, and trucking companies, reduce their carbon emissions and help to meet our climate change goals.
Okay, did you hear that? Now, what's this whole speech been about? What's the main purpose of this speech? To tell us that we're going to have our ports running 24/7. We're asking for a commitment to all these companies that do shipping and shit being running 24/7 now, because Joe didn't think they ran 24/7. He thought they all just ran Monday through Friday, maybe 8 to 5, right? But now, what does he say in the speech about that they want the companies to do what?
Longer-term view means we invest in systems that have more time built in and our ability to produce, innovate, and partner with our allies.
Listen again right here.
It also means companies throughout the supply chain, like maritime, air freight, and trucking companies, reduce their carbon emissions and help to meet our climate change goals.
Okay, so you think the shipping companies run 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. But now you have got a commitment for them to run 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, 24/7, 365. So in your mind, we're going to triple the amount of shipping and carving and running things, blah, 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 and reduce the emissions? Say what? Say what? Oh, I know. You're going to get all those coal-powered cars and trucks out there on the road because, the electric vehicles will reduce the carbon emissions because because electric vehicles are run on coal. I hope you followed me when I said that, but that's what electric-powered vehicles run on coal. Right?
It also means creating and supporting good-paying jobs, so folks want to stay in these jobs.
Good paying what
so
kind of jobs?
Build the skills and careers.
What kind of jobs, Joe?
Make a decent living.
What kind of jobs, Joe?
It means more opportunities to join a union.
Yeah.
Especially for truckers. These steps are critical. They allow companies to pivot quickly when a disruption hits because
he thinks
they've invested in their
all
workers,
going to be union
the
jobs.
workers' skills, and training up front to be able to adapt. We need to invest in making more of our products right here in the United States. Never again should our country.
So if you make more of your products here in the United States, that would relieve the congestion at the ports, wouldn't it? That would relieve congestion. Then you wouldn't need the ports to run 24 hours a day. But what incentives are you giving companies to do their business and build their products here in the United States? oh, you're going to tax them more so that you can pay for all the other bullshit. See, there's a problem here. There's a complete disconnect between much of what you're saying and what you're saying, because you're talking out of both sides of your mouth right now, Joe.
And our economy be unable to make critical products we need because we don't have access to materials to make that product. Never again should we have to rely too heavily on one company or one country or one person in the world, particularly when countries don't share our values when it comes to labor and environmental standards. I've said before.
Well, then you're certainly not making it any easier for American companies to build shit. Tax the shit out of them.
We're in the competition for the 21st century.
Oh.
We are America.
Buzzwords.
We still have the most productive workers and the most innovative minds in the world.
We do.
But the rest of the world is closing in.
Okay.
We risk losing.
The walls are closing in. I used to remember hearing that a couple years ago. The walls are closing in. They were talking about something else, though.
Losing our edge if we don't step up. In order to be globally competitive, we need to improve our capacity to make things here in America while also moving finished products across the country and around the world.
Yes, 24/7.
We need to think big and bold.
Big.
That's why I'm pushing for a once-in-a-generation investment in our infrastructure and our people. In my infrastructure bill and my Build Back Better Act. These bills would transform our ports. There's billions of dollars for ports, highways, rail systems that sorely need upgrading.
Money.
And would bring products faster and more efficiently from the factories to the store to your house.
No, they won't.
Let me be clear. We're proposing to make the biggest investment in ports in our history. The bill would also make investments in our supply chains and manufacturing and strengthening our ability to make more goods from the beginning to end right here in America.
Oh, yes, advocates diablo. It does sound like America first.
We've seen the cost of inaction in the pandemic, in the delays, and the congestion that affect every American.
We had a very, very more robust economy 2 years ago, and there were no supply chain issues. Fuck you talking about, Joe?
But it's fully within our capacity to act, to make sure it never happens again. It's going to take a little time, and that we've unlocked the full might and dynamism of our economy and our people.
Yes, unlock.
That's what we're going to do. God bless you all, and may God bless you.
Now watch what he does here. Wait.
Rail workers, truckers, and all the workers who keep our economy going.
All you union jobs.
May God protect our troops. Thank you all so very much.
And he doesn't take questions. He doesn't take a damn question. That's unbelievable. Anyway, so that's the address by our president, Joe Biden. Yes, your president and mine, legitimately elected in a perfectly pristine process in the United States of America. Good on him, and we all love Joe Biden. Oh, that's not Joe Biden. That's Joe Rogan. Anyway, so that was the speech. Here's now. This is funny because the news media, and I don't think just the alternative media that doesn't like Joe Biden, but even the media that likes Joe Biden is still a little miffed at him about not taking questions after these things. But anyway, Biden turns his back on reporters, refused to answer questions on the supply chain crisis. President Joe Biden refused to answer questions from reporters on Wednesday following remarks he gave about supply chain shortages that are causing widespread problems across the U.S. During his remarks, Biden threatened to take action if private sector companies didn't fix the problem, saying if the private sector doesn't step up, we're gonna call them out and ask them to act. Well, it's not the private sector's problem, okay? And then they showed him he was walking off. We saw the whole speech, so we're not going to go through this. But if you want to get some of the transcript of this, it is in this article that'll be in the link down below after the show. And I update that link during the outro. All the things we go over are going to be in there, including the link to Biden's speech. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do that. You can rewind it on your own. Also, now, they did ask Jen Psaki about a couple things here, and this is a funny one. The White House admitted that they were unable to guarantee that packages would arrive on time for Christmas. Here's Jen Psaki. Maybe. Oh, it's going to be an ad. Hang on. I got a feeling it's going to be an ad. And they didn't. Whoa. Say silence. After 21 seconds of some lady sitting next to a block of cheese or whatever these things are. Are those toilets? What the hell is that? Oh, that's some kind of chocolate. What the hell is this ad for? I don't know. It's weird. Roche Boys, interior design. Oh, whatever. Anyway, here's Jen Psaki.
Announced today.
Yeah.
Can this administration guarantee that holiday packages will arrive on time?
They're not the Postal Service or UPS or FedEx.
What a stupid. First of all, let me just say, it very well could be the dumbest question I've ever heard from the press. And they ask a lot of dumbass questions, but this question might be one of the dumber questions that I've heard from these guys.
Based on everything being announced today,
Yeah.
can this administration guarantee that holiday packages will arrive on time?
What a stupid
They're not
question.
the Postal Service or UPS or FedEx.
And I'm going Team Jen on this answer. They're not. No.
Not guarantee. What we can do is use every lever at the federal government disposal
No, you
to
can't.
reduce delays.
There's nothing you can do at the federal government level to reduce the delays on packages coming through UPS, FedEx, U.S. Postal, well, maybe the U.S. Postal Service, but not really. And the fact that if you have a supply chain issue like we have right now, you're probably not going to be able to fix that because all the stuff that you would be buying for Christmas is probably already on those ships that are stuck in the ocean right now. So, you know what? Get your shit together and maybe you can get your packages by January 20th. No, I'm just kidding. If it's shipped in the United States by someone in the United States with FedEx or UPS or maybe even the Postal Service and you ship them early enough, you'll get the packages on time. How can the White House guarantee if someone waits too long to ship their package that it'll arrive on time for Christmas? Because that's a stupid question by a stupid fucking reporter.
To ensure that we are addressing bottlenecks in the
Jen,
system,
you ain't doing
including ports and the need for them to be open longer hours so that goods can arrive, and we can continue to press not only.
Anyway, this is few times that I agree with Jen Psaki. They need to do their part of the ports. Not packages arrive on time because you send them on time. Dipshit. Moving on, Biden admits they're also partly responsible for the supply chain chaos. President Joe Biden's administration admitted Tuesday in a press call that its policies are at least partially to blame for the chaos currently overtaking U.S. supply chains, according to the New York Times. The Biden administration worked frantically in recent weeks to stave off mounting backlogs in recent weeks in U.S. supply chains, and they warned Tuesday that American consumers should expect higher prices and even some empty shelves come Christmas time. Really? Anyway, good morning, Fight for Your Rights, by the way. Biden came to an agreement with the Port of Los Angeles, Walmart, FedEx, and other major companies to expand hours of operation to relieve stress in those supply lines. I guarantee you that the commitment they got from Walmart, FedEx, UPS, and anyone else who already ships in the United States is, hey, we're not the ones causing this problem. It's the ports and the lack of workers and some of the things that you've done. Now, while the administration has taken numerous actions to combat the supply chain chaos, it did admit some level of complicity during a press call. Senior administration officials told reporters that the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan likely contributed to the supply chain tension thanks to its increasing demand for goods. The New York Times reported. Really? Because I gotta think that maybe that we've gone through increasing demands for goods before and certainly didn't have this major supply chain problem. 2019. Anyway, the officials went on to argue that the rescue plan nevertheless boosted the U.S. economy recovery beyond that of other nations. Yeah. And my extra dot isn't working. Okay, well, we'll figure that out later. The Port of Los Angeles is the second California port to adopt a 24/7 operations in recent weeks, with the Port of Long Beach adopting the same work schedule in September. So they've increased their hours, and they're trying to get. Look, they got a backlog of ships out sitting in the ocean doing nothing. So they need to step it up, but hopefully they can find the workers to do it. Moving on. Now, it's interesting because then there's this article here. Will Ron DeSantis save Christmas? The media has been very busy issuing warnings to American consumers of late. CNN told us to get ready for emptier shelves. News outlets suggested shopping early for Christmas to avoid shortages. Pictures of dozens of container ships off the West Coast that are not allowed to dock have gone viral. Yeah, they're not allowing them to dock. What can a concerned consumer do? Well, head to Florida. Last week, the Florida Ports Council put out a press release telling shippers that the state's ports are open, staffed, and ready for business. Florida is where your success comes in, and our seaports are the solution to ensure cargo shipping log jams doesn't become the Grinch that stole Christmas, said the Florida Ports Council president and CEO Michael Rubin. He added, with inflation growing, shipping and manufacturing industries can save time and money by calling on Florida ports. Why pay to moor off the coast of California when Florida shipping lanes are open and serving as a gateway for the getting goods to America's market? Apparently, notice how Joe Biden never mentioned the Florida ports. He only mentioned the California ports. More than 60 ships holding thousands of shipping containers were moored off the California coast when the council sent the letter. Rubin asserted Florida is open for business and we are the solution to help resolve the global supply chain crisis. Instead of waiting off the coast of California, cargo vessels can offload and move their product to Florida and other discretionary markets in the same time it takes to find space in an increasingly congested California. Now, here's, according to this press release, the state has been making investments to upgrade ports and recover from pandemic-related showdowns. Quote, thanks to Governor DeSantis, Florida is well positioned to serve as a part of the supply chain solution. Earlier this year, Governor DeSantis infused Florida's 15 seaports with $250 million in stimulus relief to help offset the impacts experienced as a result of the pandemic. This stimulus is in addition to other port infrastructure and connectivity investments made in Florida to increase our capacity and ability to move cargo and passengers around the world. Florida continues to invest in the infrastructure to become the peer to the world. So, Florida is going to say, hey, Cali, fuck you, we can do it, you can't, suck off, fuck off, whatever. Anyway, hopefully shippers will reward Florida's proactive attitude so that all the sneakers, toilet paper, toys, and Christmas trees can come ashore sooner than anticipated. According to the Washington Post, the port crisis is also causing rail yards to back up and log jams for truckers. California AB 5, which eliminated owner-operators, another law put restrictions on the age of trucks so they could legally operate in the state. The restrictions further impede getting products out of the ports and in and out of rail yards. Florida doesn't have any of these restrictive rules. That's the other thing, yeah, because you know a lot of the truckers are owner-operators, non-union. Well, this California, because they passed that AB 5, the bill where the independent contractor is no longer allowed, it eliminated owner-operators. That you have to work for a trucking company and most likely a union trucking company to move freight in California. And so that cuts half of your, not half, but it cuts a large portion of people who move goods around the world, around the country. Florida doesn't do that. So anyway, there's more on this, why this is good. Now, the only one thing, remember I said, where is Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg? Well, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is at the helm of the crisis for the Biden administration. The former small-town mayor of South Bend, Indiana, has no evident experience in handling the supply chain crisis that spans the globe. He got the job because he dropped out of the primary and endorsed Joe Biden. And he likes trains a lot. Okay. I'm not even going to tell the joke. I'm just going to give you one of these. What is Buttigieg's response? He told MSNBC that problems may continue for months, possibly years. Wow. The McKinsey veteran has set up a task force, as any good consultant would, before his current job. His primary infrastructure experience was revitalizing sidewalks in South Bend with decorative brick and getting Domino's pizzas to cough up funds to fix the potholes in his city. Anyway, Miami's going to step up and do the job. Thank you, Ron DeSantis. Also now, Biden, in his brilliance, is urging oil and gas companies to bring down rising fuel costs. According to a report, the Biden administration has reportedly been speaking to oil and gas companies about lowering the cost of fuel, as high gas prices have been one of the many problems the administration has struggled to address. Well, no, they haven't struggled to address this. They haven't struggled to address it. He fucking caused it by shutting down pipelines and just putting more restrictions on fuel and gas production. Oh my God, this guy's amazing. He's amazing. Energy costs are rising worldwide, in some cases leading to shortages in major economies like China and India. In the United States, the average retail cost of a gallon of gas is at a 7-year high, which is still low compared to some worst. Anyway, but at least in some places, I don't know. And winter fuel costs are expected to surge, according to the U.S. Energy Department. Oil and gas production remains below the nation's peak it reached in what year? 2019. Gosh, who was the president then? Wasn't that when we were energy independent? Like, we were energy independent. We were a net exporter of energy as recently as 2019. Isn't that amazing? The talks with energy companies touched on several issues, including prices. According to a third person familiar with the discussions, the administration has been in discussions with the oil industry over limiting methane emissions in recent months. So yes, make sure you're reducing the amount of cow farts in your gas and production, whatever. It's funny. Oh, and a White House official told Reuters that they were closely monitoring the cost of oil and gas Americans are paying at the pump. Really? That's great. There's a kind of a theory among certain economic types and climate change people that the rising cost of fuel and gas and things for Americans is a good thing, because then they'll use less and it'll help climate change. So they need to figure out what their messaging is here. So now the administration wants to strong arm the energy producing companies to lower their costs or lower their prices for the consumer. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Now let's get into just a couple other things before I go. If you haven't seen this clip from Joe Rogan, this is brilliant, from the Joe Rogan show. I don't even know.
Don't you think that even with a break,
I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to play this, but who knows? Maybe we are, maybe we can't. You know what? I'm gonna leave this out. But anyway, this clip of Joe Rogan talking to Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's leading stupid 19 propagandist, is golden. Okay, it is golden, and I will leave this link here. You can watch it. You can probably find the entire episode on YouTube, where Joe just, here's the thing. Joe asked Gupta questions that Gupta couldn't answer, because if Gupta answers them truthfully, he would have to be going against his own narrative. And right now, the narrative regarding Stupid 19 is they want to scare the bejesus out of you so that you will take their Fauci juice, and so that you'll do this, and they can control you. They can tell you where to go, where to shit, where to smoke, where to eat. And when you can, because like I said, it seems to be a trial run for something else that could be considered somewhat nefarious, in my personal opinion. And so I did get into an interesting exchange with someone regarding this, because let's see here, where is this thread real quick? Because he was talking to Gupta about how, reason people might be reluctant to have their children given the Fauci juice is because there's a risk reward benefit. It's like they know that there's some problems with some people have had problems with side effects, and there's also, kids have such a low death rate, sickness rate, whatever, from this, that it's, is it really worth it? Is it really something that, he was saying that as Gupta, who's at 52 years old, who is fully vaccinated, who says, he's confident that he won't get it. Well, parents have that same confidence. It's about the same concept for a 50-year-old fully vaccinated person as a child who isn't vaccinated, because that's if you look at the death rates among children, they're extremely low. Very similar, not exact, but very similar to the flu, which no one wants to talk about. They also don't want to talk about people like me, the people who are fully recovered from stupid 19. I'm one of 45 million people in the United States who didn't die from stupid 19. That's a number that people never talk about. That no one ever talks about us, the 45 million survivors of this deadly disease that's supposed to kill everybody it touches. I always laugh when people, like, there's different people online that people call they call them COVIDiots, COVIDiots, this and that, and you hope you get COVID and die. Well, first of all, COVID is not a death sentence for most people. Okay, for the vast majority of people, it is very bad for old people. It's very bad for people who are obese. It's bad for people who have comorbidities, and it's not a good thing that many people have died from this. However, 45 million people in the United States have gotten it and didn't die. 45 million people. And that's the 45 million we know about. Remember, there's a lot of people who don't even get symptoms. They are asymptomatic. So that 45 million could be 60 million. It could be 100 million. It could be 150 million. We don't know, because guess what? If you're completely asymptomatic but you had it, did you go to a doctor and get tested? Probably not, because you didn't have any symptoms. So we know of 45 million people in the United States who've had it and survived, who had it and are not dead right now. There's probably a lot more. So anyway, you can watch that one on your own. I'm actually kind of out of time here. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't get to, but the thread so I will just talk about what I talked about today with somebody, because I mistakenly, I did this while I was working, so I did math in my head. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But one of the people is, here's the other thing. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play it. You can just, you can play that, look at that thread yourself. I'll have it in the links below. Other things, there's a bunch of other COVID news, though, that will be in the tab that I didn't get to. Let's skip Joe. Here's a fascinating stat from the CDC. So get this. The latest, now, if you hear in the news soon, suddenly, that there's a whole bunch of children dying from COVID all of a sudden, here's an interesting fact. So get this, the latest CDC data added 50 new COVID-19 deaths for children under the age of 10. Now, only 16 of those were in September and October of this year. 23 of the ones they added were from 2020. 15 of new deaths added were from April 2020. It matters because the media freaks out, policies are reinserted, and gifts suffer. And he followed this up with a file that he went through and analyzed the data, seeing where these all came from. And so someone down here says they've manipulated the data from day one. It's like playing poker over and over again with someone who stacks the deck and expecting a different result. And interesting, there's also an article, if you follow this thread, a sister of a 14-year-old boy blasts the Arizona, is it Arizona? I don't know what state this is. Alberta health ministry or whatever, for labeling his death COVID related. So this kid in Alberta died, or he had stage 4 cancer. He was dying from cancer, and the kid passed away, and lo and behold, they found out that he also had COVID, and they're listing him as a COVID death. So I gotta figure there's a lot of the deaths that are being mislabeled based on just because if you die with COVID, you get to be in the part of that statistic. Anyway, What's it? What broke 500? I'm missing something here. So it finally broke 500. I'm not sure. Anyway. Oh, by the way, Biden's mandate. So some of the other articles, Biden's mandate does not really exist. There is no mandate right now. Some of these companies are acting like they have a mandate, but there's no executive order. There's no law. It's just a speech he gave. And so some of the companies are jumping in. You can read about that. Also, under half of Americans think the pandemic will be over by the end of 2020. Nearly a quarter think it'll last forever. Well, if it lasts forever, what's that called? That's called endemic. I don't think it'll last forever. That's the latest poll from the YouGov Economist poll. And there's everyone's favorite guy. Also, Wyoming school took an honor student out of the school in handcuffs. This is the last one I really want to do, and you can check the other ones out. There's all kinds of stuff here. Last week, police forcibly removed a 16-year-old honor student in handcuffs for defying her school's mask mandate. Grace Smith, a junior, took a video of the incident, which was later posted by her father, Andy Smith, on YouTube. As you can see, the scene was both peaceful and outrageous. The school required 2 good-sized policemen to remove the one skinny young lady who resisted in no way whatsoever. And they're charging her with trespassing, according to Fox News. I'll have that article up too. Even crazier, the entire school was locked down for 90 minutes during what was the Laramie Boomerang, or what the Laramie Boomerang described as a showdown of wills between Grace and the school administrators. So the girl apparently didn't have her mask off in the lobby. The school went on lockdown for 90 minutes over one mask. My God, these people are stupid. It's unbelievable. So you can check that article out. Let's see, Catholic soldiers. Oh, they're going to allow Catholic soldiers may have followed their conscience and reject the stupid 19 vaccine, apparently. The Archbishop for the Military Services, Timothy Broglio, said a soldier may reject the vaccine if he feels it violates his conscience. So I don't know how that's going to go over with the Biden administration and Secretary Lloyd Austin, but apparently they are making accommodations for Catholics. Go figure. Florida County's been fined $3.5 million for requiring proof of vaccination. They are breaking the law that was passed in Florida. Or is it a law? Was that law? Wait a minute. I don't know if that was a law passed, but anyway, they're fined the county government $3.5 million Tuesday for violating the state ban on vaccination passports. The first time a state has punished a locality for defying the ban. I didn't know this was a law. Did this pass the legislature? Yes, it did. It's unacceptable that Leon County violated Florida law, infringed on a current and former employees' medical privacy, and fired loyal public servants because of their personal health decisions, Governor Ron DeSantis said. So you can check out that article. It's an NBC News article. Let's see. What's this? What happened to the article that goes with it? So this is an article about some Fauci emails that show that he and his wife's flippancy over vaccine deaths, and they're more interested in immortalizing him. They are previously unseen emails correspondence between Anthony Fauci and his wife, Christine Grady, showed the couple celebrating how Fauci has been immortalized by an action figure and reveal a callous reaction to the vaccine-related deaths. The National Pulse can exclusively reveal. They found some emails, and you can check that one out yourself. Other news, there's some of the articles, Kyle Rittenhouse case, how the gun charge is a sinister attack on Kyle's self-defense, or how they're trying to make that, well, he shouldn't have had a gun, so he shouldn't have been able to defend himself. Interesting article from Legal Surrection. And there's a few more, but I'm not going to just spend my time telling you what those are. That's going to be it for today, people, because I'm out of time. Hey, now, thank you for being here. I see there's 25 in the room now, 20 likes. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. You don't need to see my back room here. And if you would be so kind, if you're watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section so I know you're here. Tazzy does it for me all the time. Thank you, Tazzy. I appreciate you for always putting a comment so that I know you came by, and I appreciate your continued support. Also, there's a few others who do it regularly too. Or if you don't get here, I think Keeve couldn't. Was it Keeve? Was that you, Keeve? I can't remember if it was you or not, but a couple people do that, and I always like to know who drops by when we're not live. I really appreciate it. So thanks for those of you who do that. And if you missed the beginning of the show, go back and watch the replay. It's a great show, I promise. Anyway, and if you want to sponsor the show, there's ways to do that down below. One of the ways you can sponsor the show, if you forget, if you watch the show on at pdognight.live, the website, like I said, the show's there, the chat's there, and the you can the donation box up in the corner if you don't want to, because some people, it's a pain in the ass to go look for, click Streamlabs and then go to a different website. Well, if you watch the show at pdognight.live, you don't even have to change places. It's all there in one-stop shopping. So anyway, that's it for today, people. Thanks for being here. But as you know, I got to go. So my name is P. Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thanks for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.